Gemini, welcome and welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. We are talking about mid-March, just checking the energies, maybe giving you some inspiration if you need it. We are going to cleanse the space here. Sorry. Okay, sorry about that. So, if there's anything that you would like to be cleansed, throw it in the bowl. Any thoughts, feelings, behaviors, patterns, annoyances, throw it in the bowl. We'll get it taken care of for you. And I am going to do this 3 times, so just be aware of that if you are wearing AirPods. And here we go. Beautiful. Just breathe that in, you know? I don't know why, but for some reason, it just sounds different this month. I don't know if you've noticed that or if it's me. I don't know. So, like I said, we're talking about March, mid-March. Just some inspirational messages. We don't do a spread for these. My intention is just for a card or two to come out. I also have an intention for the message to be a little bit shorter, but it doesn't really seem to be how it's going, which is fine. You know, we will go wherever the energy takes us. So, as always, the cards do need to fall out of the deck. I don't shuffle reversals into the deck, but if the card falls out in the reverse, we'll take it that way. And we're using the modern Spellcaster's tarot this time around. It's so funny because for some reason with this deck, I keep being reminded to introduce the deck. Which is so funny. I usually list the deck that I'm using in the description below. I don't think I ever necessarily say, anyway, I don't know. It's just been kind of funny that it wants to be introduced. So, what is the mid-March message for Gemini? Mid-month March for Gemini. It's too many. I think that was like 4 cards. That was just a little too many. What is the message for also too many? There we go. 4 of Wands in reverse. I might actually do this. I don't know. Do you see how like this one was not going back into the deck? So I'm just going to take it. This has a feeling of like kind of being in limbo. So we have the 4 of Wands in the reverse. Now, the Four of Wands generally talks about having like a firm foundation. You know, it generally is kind of depicted by like some sort of like unity or like coming together. Whether that's, you know, people or projects or situations. The wands talk about action and communication. So this is generally, you know, like it also talks about discipline with the four. So with it being in the reverse, it's kind of the opposite of those things, right? So, I mean, like I said, this just kind of has this feeling of like being in limbo. You know, there could be a situation kind of going on where there isn't necessarily a resolution to it yet, or even maybe that the resolution has kind of like turned upside down. Yeah, we're going to come back to that. We have the Eight of Swords at the bottom of the deck. And the Eight of Swords talks about kind of like a self-inflicted mind prison. Like it's almost kind of like willfully being like feeling trapped. Like, and for some reason, I do kind of want to use that willfully term lightly or with sensitivity because I get it. Like, there's a lot that can be discovered in this energy too. You know, the swords are the air cards. You're an air card too, right? So it's a lot of mental stuff. But with the Eight of Swords, you know, this figure looks like they're kind of wrapped up and maybe even trapped, but their hands aren't tied, right? So they could take this blindfold off, unwrap themselves, and literally like move on from the situation. But, you know, there's this symbol here on their hands, and I see that as being like the evil eye symbol. And, you know, the evil eye is like, you know, kind of a protection, right? Like it protects you from other people's projections of their doubts, their fears, their anxieties, right? So this is all your stuff, not necessarily somebody else's. Or it's maybe not even like somebody else's adding to it, but these fears and doubts or anxieties could have very well been kind of placed on you from other people. Like conditioning is what I mean by that. But like I said, you know, it's a good place to be in because it gives you the opportunity to look at those things and decide, is this actually how I view myself or how I think about myself? Or is this some projection or fear, doubt that somebody else placed in my consciousness that's not actually how I feel about myself or the situation, right? So it gives you an opportunity to explore those things. We have the Knight of Cups underneath that. You know, the Knight of Cups is this offer. It could be an apology. It could be, you know, the cups deal with our emotions. So this is generally some sort of offer that is going to make you feel good. We have the Page of Swords behind there. Justice. The High Priest. Priestess. I might have to. I have done this every single time so far. We'll get around to talking about that Fool card too. Let me just make sure. Is everybody in there? Okay, you can see everything. So, you know, I mean, this could just, this energy that with this Eight of Swords could be because this offer hasn't come in yet, or hasn't been like maybe finalized yet. I'm getting like even this Page of Swords, you know, the page is, I keep getting this energy of like, kind of like Joker type energy. But like, but the Joker in the sense of, kind of playing tricks on you. Like your mind might be playing tricks on you. Interesting. And then we have the Justice card, which talks about balance and, you know, I mean, it could have to do with some sort of legal issue, but this is, you know, kind of the scales balancing for you. The High Priestess, I see the High Priestess as being our higher self. And, you know, in this depiction of the High Priestess, there's this creepy baby here. I don't know if you can like see, but like the eyes are like wide open and they're kind of looking down like, ooh, I don't know. It's but you know, the High Priestess is holding this book. And, you know, I'm not saying that, you know, like everything that we'll ever experience and go through and whatever has already been decided before we come here. Like I'm not kind of going that far, but you know, like the High Priestess is kind of holding this book here, right? And to me, it does have this feeling of like, whatever this is that you're kind of going through, it is for a reason. There is a reason for it. And then we have this Ace of Swords here. Which, you know, the Ace of Swords is the sword of truth. That is the absolute truth of the situation. Not what your mind will have you believe, but the actual truth. And then, like I said, you know, we have this Fool card out that, if you remember in the beginning, didn't really want to go like back in the deck. So there seems to be like this, this subtle kind of invitation to kind of take this leap and trust the unknown. I keep coming back to this Page of Swords. Like I just keep staring at it. And the more that I stare at it, the more it just kind of seems to morph. Like, you know, technically this Page of Swords is holding this sword of truth, right? So it's resting on the sword of truth, you know, like, and look how big this sword is, right? Compared to this figure. So that's really interesting. So this could be saying that maybe whatever the situation is, maybe there isn't the information that you have, or the information that may be available, or even maybe what is being communicated or not to you. Like the whole picture hasn't been painted yet. And part of that could be because there hasn't been a commitment to stepping into the unknown, or even just, again, like mentally trusting that there is, just kind of trusting that there is a path, or like a net that is going to catch you when you kind of walk off this cliff, right? Because in this picture, this figure has already kind of committed to me, it feels. It, you know, like if he kind of caught himself, like if he kind of allowed himself to get into their mind, I don't think he would be able to step back on the cliff. Like, I don't think, like, I think he has forward momentum is what I'm saying. So there's this commitment to, and we have the moon down here, right? There's this commitment to stepping into the unknown with your baggage, right? Like whatever thoughts, feelings, you know, like you have about it, it's still there, but it's like, you know, you're still going to do it anyway. And also just kind of trusting that the truth of the situation will reveal itself, because it very much will. You know, like here, you know, we start from the Eight of Swords, which was at the bottom of the deck, right? We start in this Eight of Swords energy where, you know, like we may not even see what the outcome is going to be. And this kind of being in limbo action is freaking us out a little bit. This could also be something that you really are like kind of maybe even looking forward to. And maybe you don't want to either voice that, or maybe you don't want to jinx it and, you know, kind of get too excited about it. I understand. I totally get that. So that could be kind of the feeling here. But also, you know, like, try not to deny yourself that hope. Like, you almost just kind of like allow yourself to feel that. And even if it doesn't work out the way that you want to, you know, like feel the disappointment too. You know, like there's nothing wrong with being happy and excited about something. And if it doesn't work out, being disappointed that it didn't work out. Or if it does work out, being excited because you're like, hell yeah, this is exactly what I wanted, right? I don't know, like that was just kind of like a little side thing that was going on, or message that I was getting. So like I said, just to kind of wrap this all up and put a bow on it. If this is just kind of like this feeling of like kind of being in limbo, it seems like, you know, the offer is coming. There is going to be some sort of offer of some kind, or just some sort of communication. And it's kind of like, you know, the truth is going to be kind of revealed of the situation. Like maybe whatever it is, like maybe the person or whoever it is going to say, gosh, you know, I'm sorry it took so long. But, you know, like this, that, and the other thing had to, you know, kind of work itself out too. Or we had to deal with whatever, you know, like delays or something, right? We have, and then the Justice card, right? Like, you know, we even kind of have the wheel of fortune here. So it's, things are starting to level out, and you're almost kind of getting exactly what you deserve, because that's justice, right? We have this pomegranate here, and, you know, pomegranates talk about fertility, like, you know, kind of like the birthing of opportunity. But it also kind of comes with a sacrifice, right? So you could have been sacrificing your time, your energy, even your emotions for this thing. And this is very much, because like, it's very much kind of part of the plan. Like, this whole process kind of had to go the way that it went for it to work out the way that it is, or the way that it will. And then, like I said, you know, like, this could even kind of put you on a new path. This could even, again, just kind of be you, like, you know, just kind of committing to the unknown and just trusting that things will unfold exactly the way that they need to unfold, regardless of if that's the way that you want it to go or not. It still, in some kind of way, always works out the way that it is supposed to for your highest good, even if it is disappointing. It's like, you know, there's the disappointment and then there's an opportunity right behind that. But this is that invitation to kind of commit to the unknown and trust it. Because honestly, why not? Like, what do you have to lose, right? Yeah, I mean, you know, I could keep going, but these messages are supposed to be a little bit shorter, so I'm going to leave it there. The truth is coming. Thank you so much. I will talk to you soon. Bye. JK. I wasn't quite done, or so I'm told. So, remember at the beginning I was talking about the Four of Wands being, you know, it generally talks about marriage, some sort of like coming together, you know, some sort of union. I'm hearing like Queen Latifah in my head, the UNITY. But there's generally two people involved here, right? Which is interesting. So, you know, with the Four of Wands coming out in the reverse, if this does have to do with some sort of relationship, and it could be anything, you know, I mean, it could be a romantic relationship, it could be a platonic relationship, it could be a business partnership, anything. But, you know, again, like just kind of what I was saying about like maybe even feeling like a little bit in limbo, or just kind of feeling like maybe things have just kind of been turned on their head for whatever reason. But what's interesting is that this is the only card that has two figures in it. So this is very much to do with how you are kind of perceiving the situation and how you are working through it. So, you know, I mean, you could be just kind of stuck in your head about like, you know, kind of trying to figure out how you feel about this relationship. You know, I mean, again, with the Knight of Cups, like being some sort of offer, I mean, it could be an apology. It could be somebody kind of like retracting what they said. It could be an offer of love, like, you know, somebody, you know, kind of wanting to give their cup to you. But we have this Page of Swords energy here. And I know, like, I already kind of mentioned it, like, before, just kind of getting this Joker energy, but it's, like, kind of this, like, immature type of energy. Like, you know, you could be just emotional maturity kind of keeps coming to mind, or almost just kind of wondering if your values align, like what you want, is that the same as what they want? Or it's also, are they kind of being honest with you and upfront about their intentions and what they want out of a relationship, or out of the relationship with you specifically? Again, we have this Justice card. The Justice card, it is things balancing out. And, like I was saying with this, we have this pomegranate here, and how, you can kind of see that her hand is actually bone. So there takes some sort of sacrifice. So this could be feeling like you have been kind of being the one that's been sacrificing more. And, this is kind of the reason why I don't necessarily do, me specifically, I don't necessarily do relationship readings, because there's so many nuances with relationships. And I don't know you, right? I don't know what's going on in your situation, but you could just be feeling like you are kind of sacrificing a bit more than your partner. And, this Justice card is saying that, it's either a message that there needs to be more equity or equality between, just kind of the exchange of energy, and again, however that looks like for you, right? Just having a bit more balance in the relationship. And then, this High Priestess is your higher self. It's your intuition. It's it's almost kind of like coming through as a reminder to, kind of stand in your power and just kind of remember what your values are, what you want, right? So then with this Fool card, it's either, really kind of giving this relationship a chance, kind of going through this discussion almost, if that's kind of what needs to happen, communicating your needs and communicating what you're feeling, kind of what you're going through, right? Kind of putting all your cards on the table. So this could be, that need to kind of commit to getting this relationship kind of back on track and turning this around. Or it could be that, this relationship kind of had to work out the way that it did so that you could move forward, so that you can move beyond the relationship. Because, even having the Ace of Swords down here, there is going to be some sort of truth that comes out, or that is discovered, right? And, however this needed to play out in order for the actual, real truth of the situation to come out, right? Then that's, kind of going on that journey to discover that truth. And so again, it could be that you're committing to working it out, or you're committed to moving beyond it. And you both would be committed to moving beyond it. It would be kind of just like a mutual thing. Okay. I think that's it. But I stopped the video, and then I was like, no, I have to come back and talk about this if it is with a relationship. There's also, I don't know if it's just because this Page of Swords is kind of in the middle, but I keep coming back. And anytime I'm just kind of sitting here in a little bit of silence, I'm staring at this card, Because, you know, I mean, it's even like, you know, like the truth will kind of cut through the bullshit. You know, if there's any type of bullshit that's going on in this relationship, the truth will kind of cut through it. And what's interesting too is that, you know, like we have this offer on this side that's, you know, like we felt a little mentally insecure or anxious about. But then on the other side of this is this justice and high priestess, right? Like this is very much like, again, just kind of, you know, I'm like trying not to repeat myself, but the scales balancing out exactly how they are supposed to for you, for your highest good. Super cool. Okay, now I'm going to leave it. All right, bye, Gemini.